Rare Voice is the phone in my home.
It's the one I can afford.
Rare Voice gives me lower LD.
And you know it gives me more.
I get local calls for free, and I can win big prizes too. Rare Voice makes my family rejoice. Rare Voice is the choice for me.
Your new home phone is here. Sign up for Rev Voice today, and you can win great weekly prizes and a brand new Honda CR-V from Nassau Motor Company. Get Rev Voice home phone for as low as $14.99 a month. Call us at 601-8992 or visit us online at cablebahamas.com/RevVoice. Rejoice this Christmas with Rev Voice.
Good evening, Bahamas. This is NB12 broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Here's what's making news tonight. A 5-year-old murdered in his own home. The Prime Minister weighs in on the tragedy. The opposition says the government's option on BTC limited. Plus, the Bahamas recognizes the 50th anniversary of JFK's visit. Those stories and much more on the way, and the Kia DeVoe and NB12 starts right now. Thanks again for joining us here at NB12. Police and many others are trying to figure out exactly what motivated the gruesome killing of a first grader in the Camp Road area last night. The murder shook the community where the little boy and his family lived, as neighbors, relatives, and friends mourn the loss of 5-year-old Daquan Clark. Paige McCartney was at the crime scene last night. She filed this report.
Police responding to a grisly scene at this home behind me, just off Kemp Road. Inside, they say, a 5-year-old little boy's body was found with his throat slit. The victim's grandmother could barely contain herself after the news was broken to her that one of her own family members allegedly murdered her grandson, 5-year-old Daquan Clark. Police say they were called to the Strauns Alley Kemp Road area home at around 6 p.m. That's when they discovered the gruesome scene.
Officers from the Northeastern Division responded to house number 21, and upon arrival, they entered the house and discovered a young male child, 5-year-old male, lying in a bed. Upon examination, officers discovered that this young child had an apparent stab injury to the chest and a laceration to the neck.
Residents at the scene told NB12 that the boy's mother was at work during the incident. Someone called and told her to check in with her family, but she didn't know what happened until she arrived home. Understandably distressed, the boy's mother and sister had to be bussed away from the crime scene and taken to CDU. Neighbors told NB12 that just minutes before the killing, they witnessed the little boy playing outside. Police arrested a 20-year-old male relative who was assisting with investigations.
He was arrested in one of the other rooms, and I think at this stage it's too early to really determine what is going through his head. And as detectives work throughout the night to try to determine exactly what happened, we'll be able to shed more light on what really went wrong in that house.
Police are trying to find out the motivation behind this brutal killing. Ferguson said even seasoned officers were moved by what they saw.
This is a very tragic incident, involved a 5-year-old. The question is, what could a 5-year-old do to deserve such an untimely death? As investigations continue, we will try to determine what went wrong at this family residence and try to determine what is the reason for the life of this young boy being taken by, we believe, a family member.
This is a very difficult scene, I'm sure, for anybody, including police. What kind of, help will police or people who have seen the scene get?
We have consuls who is assigned to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. No doubt officers who attended the scene will receive some counseling.
Residents called him Quan for short. They say he was a student in grade 1 at Uriah McPhee, the school that just won the junior Junkanoo competition. They say his mother was a marshal and they remember seeing him beating the drum just days ago. Residents mourned as the little boy's small, wrapped body was lifted into the hearse and carried away. They said he was well known and well loved in the area.
Oh, he used to be dressed right up, clean all the time, nice little Jordan tennis on. And he was there last week, he was in junior Junkanoo up to Raya. He was a nice little boy. Always dressed up, always clean.
So how does this news affect your neighborhood?
Sad, very sad, very sad. Yeah, you don't expect nothing like that.
Quan is a quiet little boy, and every morning his sister is bringing him to school in the morning time and pick him up. The little boy just went junior Junkanoo. My God. That's all I got to say.
Very sweet little boy. Very nice little boy. He was in the front line of the Junkanoo. That was him beating that drum. Had plenty energy. Plenty life ahead of him. It's so sad.
What about his older brother? Did you know him? Did you see him in the neighborhood?
I don't know him too well because when I moved from True Year, he was away in the States. So I don't know what take place or what's going on. But as far as I know, Quan, I know him from a little baby. And every time he see me, say, "Father." I see him, "Mommy, Father." "You Father?" Sweet little boy. Nice little boy.
Neighbors said this incident is likely to impact the entire community, which is made up of many children in Daquan's age group. They say they can't come to terms with what happened.
The only thing that's going through my mind is how is his family going to cope? And we just intend to just be right there for the mother especially. Yeah.
What kind of person was Quan? What did you know him to be like in the neighborhood?
He was very energetic, very friendly. He loved people, he loved everything, and most of the people say the last remembrance they have of him is a junior Junkanoo just spanking those drums.
I knew him before he was even born. I know the mother, and I watched him grow into a very humble, energetic little boy. And he is so sociable, and they kept him, he was always well grown. From he was a baby, they kept him well. I just remember his mother walking home from school, the last day of school. And he's so jolly because they had a Christmas party and he was just full of energy. Well-mannered little boy. He would really be someone that leave an impact on your life.
Daquan's killing marked the 107th murder for 2012. Reporting for MB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Well, Daquan's murder has also grabbed the attention of the nation's leader, Prime Minister Perry Christie, today telling reporters that the shocking event serves as a wake-up call for the nation. Our Jasmine Bonamy has the details in this report.
In the wake of last night's shocking murder, Prime Minister Perry Christie is calling on the nation to grieve with the family of the young boy who lost his life. Prime Minister Christie says while all murders are devastating, this particular incident hits home because the victim is so young.
It's a horrible, horrible kind of development in our country, but we have to learn from it.
Earlier this week, Christie lamented the high rate of violent crime in the country, promising an increase in saturation patrols in New Providence to prevent irrational killings. But today he said this latest incident proves that preventing murders must go beyond heavy-handed police tactics and also tap into social preventative measures. He adds that government will be taking serious steps to tackle social issues through the Urban Renewal Program. Christie says while it's key to solve these matters, it's also key to make sure they never occur.
For me, compelling interest on my part is to ensure that we, the country, fully understands, with the best possible advice involved in our investigations towards arriving at a full understanding, meaning using all the expertise available to us to understand what this means and what strategies ought to be employed immediately, whether public education, whether house-to-house instructions. This country is too small to be able to accept that kind of happening, even though you can't control it. We must have a strategy in place to address those who are most vulnerable in our society.
The Prime Minister added that this incident, as well as the other 106 murders that have occurred so far this year, should serve as a reminder that the Bahamas is not immune to the violence that also impacts other countries in the region. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
In other news, a group of illegal immigrants being processed by immigration officials after they were found hiding out in a home on Bimini. According to police officers in the Bimini district, were tipped off to an apartment in the Porgy Bay area. When they arrived at around 4:30 a.m. Thursday, they found 10 illegal immigrants inside. 6 Brazilians, 3 Jamaicans, and 1 Haitian national were taken into police custody and handed over to immigration officials for processing. A Bahamian suspect is also in police custody in relation to this incident.